All right, so this is the key to quiz 2. And so here was problem number 1. And problem number 1, you wanted to graph the inequality that you see here. X is greater than or equal to -2 on the number line. And so to graph x is greater than or equal to -2, you're trying to find all the numbers that are greater than or equal to -2. Now remember, equal -2 means you're including -2 in here. So 4 is greater than -2, 7.2 is greater than -2, the square root of 75 is greater than -2, and so on. So to do that, see where you see -2? Since there's an equal sign, which means you're including -2, you're going to put a closed circle here. So make sure it looks closed, just like this, and you want to shade in every real number that's to the right of this. So it looks something like this. Make sure you put an arrow. All right, so that's number 1. So that's the graph. This right here is the graph of this inequality. All right, number 2, you're given the graph this time, and you want to write the inequality. So you want to write something that looks like this. All right, so notice what's being shaded. First of all, notice that on -4, there's a closed circle, and everything to the left of -4 is being shaded. So this graph right here represents this inequality, and they're asking you to use the variable x. So you're going to say x is less than or equal to -4. And so that's what that is. So this inequality corresponds to this graph. The next one, you're given a compound inequality. So remember, a compound inequality is where you have two inequalities that are separated by the word or and. Or and. So in this case, it's an or statement. So remember what an or statement means. That means that any solution here is a solution to this compound inequality. Any solution here is a solution to this compound inequality. So that means this. So if I shade in x is less than -3, notice there's no equal sign, so you're going to use an open circle. So on -3, you're going to have an open circle, just like this, and you're going to shade in every real number to the left. So what I'm shading right now are the solutions to this compound statement, because any number here, as long as the real number satisfies one of these, it's a solution. So that's what an or statement means. And so then you want to also graph this one. X is greater than or equal to 4. Notice there's an equal sign here, so you can put a closed circle on 4, just like this, and you want to shade in every real number to the right. So it looks something like this. And so notice that this or compound statement, you have two different rays, if you want to think of these as rays, although this is an open circle right here. All right, so 2 rays. All right, so you have 2 pieces of this number line that corresponds to this compound statement. In terms of solutions, that means that any real number here or any real number here will satisfy one of these, which will satisfy this compound statement. All right, so that's an or statement. All right, now number 4 is an and statement. So let's look at number 4. So the way you want to do number 4 is this. So when you have an and statement, this is what that and statement means. So think of this and statement as the intersection. All right, so the intersection. So when you're finding the solutions to this compound statement, to this compound inequality, and there's a word and, what you're looking for is this. So the solution to this compound and inequality will be any real number that's here, and at the same time is also here. So it's whatever these two inequalities have in common. So intersection, what they have in common. All right, so the way you want to do that before you put this on the graph is this. So shade each one individually first. So here's x is greater than 2. So let's go ahead and put 2 here. There's no equal sign, so you're going to put an open circle, and you're going to shade in every real number to the right. Then we're going to graph x is less than or equal to 8. All right, and so make sure on the number line you put 8 in the correct relation to 2. So 8, remember, is greater than 2, so that's going to be to the right. And since there is an equal sign, you're going to put a closed circle going to the left. And so the graph that goes here will be the intersection of those two graphs. So these two graphs overlap from 2 to 8. Notice there's an open circle on 2 and a closed circle on 8. So you're going to say 2, so open circle on 2 and a closed circle on 8. Now I need to put an 8 here. All right, so closed circle here, and then you're going to shade in every real number between them, just like this. All right, so that was number 4. All right, number 5, you're given a graph this time. Notice you need to recognize this is a compound inequality. All right, so you don't have any arrows, right? So when you had an arrow like this, and that was simple, that was an easy thing to deal with. X is greater than or equal to -2. See one arrow here, right? There's an arrow. So you'd say x is less than -4. All right, but here you don't have any arrows at all. So what that means is that this right here is going to be an and statement. So that's an and statement, and there are 2 ways you can think about this. So here's one way. So you have to recognize that you can rewrite this right here, just to see how this right here looks like this. So you can rewrite this like this. So what that means is this. I can think of this part right here as this. So x is greater than 1. So x is greater than 1. See the 1? No equal. No, it's open circle, so no equal sign. So look like this. Oops, sorry. 1, open circle, going to the right. And then x is less than or equal to 3, closed circle, so equal sign. X is less than or equal to 3, like this, right? Closed circle, going to the left. And this right here is the intersection of those two in it, from 1 to 3. So that's an and statement. So what you're going to do is you're going to rewrite these with the word and between them. So you're going to say x is greater than 1, and at the same time, x has to be less than or equal to 3. So that's how you think about this. Now, another way you can write this is as a compound as a compound statement that looks like this. So the real numbers between 1 and 3, right? The real numbers between 1 and 3. So that means that 1 is less than x, and at the same time, x has to be less than or equal to 3. So this right here means this. So either one of those is fine as the answer. It's important, though, that you know the reason for both. Okay, so this and this mean the same thing. This right here and this mean the same thing. So notice x is greater than 1, and at the same time, it has to be less than or equal to 3. Okay? All right, so that's number 5. All right, let's look at number 6. So in number 6, what you have is this. You have this. So remember, when you have something that looks like this, that's an and statement, right? So x is greater than 1, and at the same time, x has to be less than or equal to 3. Here, though, you have two separate pieces of this number line, two separate rays, and so that's an or statement. And so what you've graphed here is any real number less than or equal to -4. Or, now it's important to use the word or. That or word is important. You have to use the word or x is greater or equal to 1. And so that's what this is. All right? So this is this. Make sure you understand that you have to use the word or here. All right? Or. Just like over here, you had to use the word and. If you did not put the word and, if you just had these two inequalities without the word and, you could not get all your points. All right, so that word or and is important. When you're dealing with a compound statement, you have to use the word or the word and. All right, so in this case, it's an or statement. All right, two separate inequalities. All right, and then number 7, you're dealing with set builder notation. And so you want to graph the set of x's such that x is greater than 3. So notice there's no equal sign, so you're going to put an open circle on 3, and you're going to shade everything to the right because it says greater than. So there's the graph, and then you want to put this in interval notation. So interval notation, you're going to read the graph from left to right. So as you go from left to right, there's an open circle, so that corresponds to parentheses, 3, comma, and then infinity with parentheses. So remember, whenever you're dealing with infinity, negative infinity, it's always parentheses. All right, so that's number 7. Okay, number 8. Let's go to number 8. So number 8, there's that compound statement, right? That's that and statement right here. So what that means is that all your real numbers are between -3 and 5. So you're going to put since there's an equal sign, you're going to put a closed circle on -3. You're going to put an open circle on 5, and you're going to shade in every real number between them. All right, so that was it. That's all you had to do for number 8. And then number 9 was an easy one. Number 9, you could have gone back and done it right after number 1 or number 2. So you just want to shade in every real number that's less than 4. Notice there's no equal sign, so that's going to be an open circle on 4. And you're shading in every number less than that, so every real number less than 4. And that's it. All right, so that was the key to quiz number 2.